Respected elders, educationists, dear teachers and dear students, welcome. First of all, it is my kind request that those who haven't subscribed our channel so far may kindly subscribe it. Dear students, in this class we are going to see the uses of what, should, must and have to, and also the difference and similarities between ought and should, and between ought, should and must and have to, similarities and differences we are going to see. Come. First, auxiliary verbs part 4C, ought and should. Video 211, dated 20/12/2023. Auxiliary verbs part 4C. Ought, O-U-G-H-T, should be pronounced as ought, monosyllabic word, ought, O-it, long form, ought, not A, but O, ought. Then S-H-L-U-L-D, should be sounded, that is, should be pronounced as should and should. That is, this word has two kinds of pronunciations. One is should, it is the weak form. When should is not stressed, we should pronounce it as should. When we sound it strongly, when we give stress to the word should, then we should use this pronunciation should. Now let us see ought and should compared, and ought or should compared to must and have to. That is, here we are going to see first the similarities between ought and should. Then we are going to see the differences and similarities between ought and should and must and have to. Ought to is a modal verb. It is a modal auxiliary. The same form can be used for present, future and the past. By a verb, are followed by a perfect tense and for all the three persons. Dear students, the word O-U-G-H-T, ought, has got the same form for all the four kinds of verbs: person, past, past perfect, present, past and past perfect. In all the places, ought is used for present tense and future tense. The same O-U-G-H is the form. And for future, that is the form. And for past tense, O-U-G-H is the form. As we have three forms for other verbs: go, went, gone. Three verbs. Three forms of verbs. Not present participle. I am not using a present participle because ought can't be used in the present as a present participle. But it can be used as a present verb, as a present auxiliary, or a future auxiliary, as a past auxiliary. The form is the same, but to refer to present and future, what should be followed by present or future verb? But to represent past action, what should be preceded by a past tense? As a past perfect tense. It's okay? What is a modal verb? The same form you see there. I ought to write to him today or tomorrow. I ought to write to him today. You can also say tomorrow. Represents the past and future events. I knew I ought to write to him. Represents past event. I knew I ought to write to him. That is, here it represents the present as well as future. But here the verb ought, the auxiliary ought, represents past. Because the verb before it is past, is in past. She said that I ought to write. Here ought to is used in past form. That is, it is preceded by said. Represents past event. I knew that I ought to have written. Here, this ought represents unfulfilled past event. Here, ought represents unfulfilled past events. That's all. Forms of ought in affirmatives, negative interrogatives, and negative interrogatives. In the four kinds of forms, we are going to use the structure of the auxiliary ought. Affirmative ought, negative ought not, won't. It is the word, it is the pronunciation marks, it is the pronunciation symbols. Ought, int, oughtn't, two syllables, oughtn't. Then interrogative, ought I, negative interrogative, ought I not, or won't I, as shouldn't I. Then ought takes the full infinitives. To remind the students of this, it is sometimes referred to as ought to. Questions or remarks with ought may be answered by should and vice versa. That is, the auxiliary, the modal auxiliary ought takes the full infinitive. What is the meaning of full infinitive? It means 2 plus present tense is called full infinitive. 2 plus present tense is called full infinitive. Bare infinitive means the present verb without to. You see, you ought to go. You ought to go. You should go. That is, when we use should, there is no to. But when we use ought, we use to. You ought to go. You should go. That is, it is your duty to go. You ought to go, or you should go. So, okay, that is, ought to takes full infinitive, whereas should takes bare infinitive. Now you would have understood, I feel, what is full infinitive and what does bare infinitive mean. You see, you ought to put in central heating. You ought to put in central heating. Yes, I suppose I should. That is, when we use ought to in the previous previous part, in the answer we can use should. If ought is used in the affirmative sentence, in the reply, you can use should. If should is used in the affirmative sentence, we can use ought to in the reply. Ought takes the full infinitive, but should takes bare infinitive. That I have already explained. When ought and should are used for obligation, normally they have the same meaning, but should is the more useful forms. That is, for obligation, there is duty. You can use either ought or should. Both words are having the same meaning, but normally we are using should we are using, mostly we are using should. Only occasionally we are using ought. But both the words have the same meaning regarding obligations, regarding duty. In conversation, should and ought to can often be used alone. Here the infinitive is understood but not mentioned. Dear students, in conversation, we need not use the full infinitive after ought and should. There is no necessity of using the full infinitive or the bare infinitive. That auxiliary, that is ought to or should, is enough in the answer. You should paint or ought to paint your door. You should paint your door, or you ought to paint your store. It is you have. It is must. Yes, I know, I should. Yes, I know, I must. Or yes, I know, I ought to. Here we use, if you use should in a sentence, then in the reply we can use either should or ought to. Similarly, if you use ought to in the sentence, then in the reply you can use either should or ought to. Okay? Because both are having the same meaning. Dear students, in the first use we have seen that is ought or should be used to indicate, to express the obligation of the subject. Don't forget it. Ought or should be used to express the obligation or duty of the subject, the doer. So you can we are here ought or should compared to must and have to. There is a comparison between ought or should and must or have to. A difference between these two expressions, should and must. Okay? Ought or should is used to express the subject's obligation or duty. This I already told you. What is the difference between should and must? We can take either should and must. What is the difference between them? Should is used to express the subject's obligation or duty. You should send in accurate income tax returns. That is, it is the it is the obligation or the duty of the subject. You should send in accurate income tax returns. In other words, some examples I say, we should respect our parents first. Then we should respect our constitution. That is, respecting our constitution is the obligation, is the duty, responsibility of every citizen. So we should, you should, he should. Then it is their obligation. It is should is used to express the obligation, that is the duty, responsibility of the subject. To indicate a correct or sensible action. We can also use should to indicate the correct or sensible action. They shouldn't allow parking here. The street is too narrow. That is, as the street is too narrow, the people living in that street shouldn't allow parking there. They shouldn't allow vehicles to park there. It is the responsibility, duty of the people living in that street. They shouldn't allow parking here. It is the responsibility of the people living in that street. This word is spelled wrongly. There should be another yes. That is correctness. Here we are expressing the correctness or sensibility. The word is spelled wrongly. That is, the word has been written wrongly. That is the word. It needs another yes. It is CLAS. class, CLAS, class. If you write like this, there is some error regarding the spelling. The correct spelling should be CLASS, like that. This word is spelled wrongly. There should be another S. So, one to express the obligation, another to express the correctness. We have to use, or we should use, should or ought to. Here there is neither speaker's authority as with must or external authority as with have to. It is more a matter of conscience. Dear students, this word conscience, we should not pronounce it as conscience. This word should be pronounced as con. Conscience, not conscience. Conscience. So try your best to understand the symbols of to understand the letters of pronunciation, phonemes, the letter of phonemes. You should know. Then only you could pronounce words correctly. Now what we are doing? Now you are simply receiving the sounds from the speaker and you are repeating it as the parrot prattle, as the parrot prattle. The parrot receives what others people speak and it repeats. Like that we are doing. You are like parrots. Regarding the language English, people are speaking it, repeating it like a parrot, repeating the pronunciation it receives from others. You see here. It is more a matter of conscience. Yes, there is no speaker authority. Pianist to people. The pianist says to his people, you must practice at least an hour a day. I mean, it is the authority of the speaker. You must practice. It is the order, authority of the speaker. The pupil to musical friend. I have to practice an hour a day. That is, I have the external authority. Because he has told you must practice. You speaker authority. Here, I have to means I have some external authority. I have been advised. I have been told that I have to practice an hour a day. So, in this sentence, it is the authority of the speaker. In this sentence, it is outside authority. But see the third one, musical friend. You ought to or should practice for more than an hour. You should or ought to practice more than an hour. I mean, it here must and have to, the expectation would be fulfilled. The expectation would be fulfilled. But when we use ought or should, we are simply suggesting we cannot expect, we do not expect, or we do not feel the action would be fulfilled. We can't expect. It may or may not be fulfilled. That's all. So, when must or have to is used, the action will be or is being fulfilled. But when we use should or ought to, it may be fulfilled. That's all. Another difference between ought or should and must and have to is that with must and have to, we normally have the impression that the obligation is being or will be fulfilled. When we use must or have to, we feel that the obligation, that the duty is being or will be fulfilled. This is particularly the case with first person, but quite often applies to the other persons too. That is, dear students, When we use must or have to, we feel the obligation or duty is being or will be fulfilled. But when we use should or have to, we can't expect, we do not feel that the obligation duty will be fulfilled. It may or may not happen, but we are not sure about it. With what or should, we do not necessarily feel that the obligation is being or will be fulfilled. Quite often, especially in the first person, the reverse is the case. Yes, when we use must or have to, we feel, we are sure that the action, that the obligation will be fulfilled. But when we use should or have to, we need not say that, we need not say. I mean, we can't say definitely that the action is being or will be fulfilled. See an example, a suitable example. You see, if a driver says, I ought to or should go slowly here, it is a built-up area. Here he usually implies that he is not going to go slowly. That is what I ought to go slowly here. It is a built-up area. What does he means? That it is not the intention of the speaker. It is not the intention of the speaker. It is the intention, it is the condition of the outside. The road is being repaired. So here I have to go slowly. It is the outside condition. It is not my intention. I ought to go slowly here. It means it is a built-up area. Here he usually implies that it is not his intention to go slowly. But the condition of the road is that I have to go slowly. See, if actually he likes to go slowly or to express his intention, he would say, if he really intends to go slowly, he would say, I must go or I have to go, I will have to go slowly. So, when the subject intends to express his intention, he should use must. But it is not his intention. It is not his intention. But it is the authority of the speaker or authority of outside authority. Then we have to use should. For the intention of the speaker, must. When the intention of the speaker is not the outside, should. Similarly, between should and must in use. Should, here what should not be used? Should can be used in formal notices and on information sheets. For formal notices and on information sheets, who can use should. Candidates should be prepared to answer questions on hearing the alarm. On hearing the alarm bell, hotel guests should leave their rooms. It is the notice. It is the information. So here we have used should. Must would be used here without change of meaning. That is, instead of should, we could use must. But should expresses the obligation more gently. See, my dear students, here in this sentence, candidates should be prepared to answer questions. Who can use must? Candidates must be prepared. We can use. But what is the difference between must and should? Here, should expresses polite information. Express more, polite information. Expresses the obligation more politely. Should expresses the obligation more politely. But when we use must, it is not like that. Yes, that is, you have to, you must do it. You must do it. You must do it means it is a rough. It is a rough way of expressing the obligation. That you should do it means it is a polite way of expressing one's obligation. Then let us say third. The third use of these things. Ought or should can express advice. To give advice. Who can use ought or should? You ought to or should read this. It is very good. You ought read this book, or you should read this book. It is very good. It is an advice. A suggestion. But for more emphatic, must is better. You must read this. It is marvelous. That is, for giving suggestions or advice, you can use should or ought to. But must is more emphatic. Should is less emphatic, but must is more emphatic. You should read this. You must read this. There is some difference. It is less emphatic. It is more emphatic. That's all. Note: should is used to express the obligation of the subject without outside authority. Dear students, it is very, very important. You should memorize it. Or should is used to express the obligation of the subject without outside authority. But must and have to are used to express speaker or outside authority. These are the main things you should bear in mind. It is ought or should is used to express the obligation of the subject, without any external authority. But must and have to are used to express the speaker's authority or the outside authority. These are very important things. These are the very important things you should write in your memory. See, the fourth use, dear students, the fourth and fifth uses are very, very important. Ought or should with the continuous infinitives. That is, ought or should plus be plus present participle. What is its use? Dear students, should plus be plus present participle is used to express the negligence of an action, the negligence of a deed that should be done, or to express the event in the present. All these are recorded in the present tense. An action, a deed should not be done. To express first the idea that one should do something, but he is not doing. Another idea is that one should not do something, but he is doing. This is in present tense, both the things. What one is neglecting, that he should do. And another is what one should not do, but he is doing. Or should with the continuous infinitive expresses idea the subject is not fulfilling his obligations, or that he is acting foolishly or rashly. So that's in present tense it is used. The present, I mean, should plus present continuous plus conditional tense implies that one is not fulfilling his obligation to express this, or doing something rashly or foolishly. He ought to be studying for his exam. He ought to be studying, he should be studying for his exam. That means he is not studying. He should be studying, he ought to be studying for his exam. Means he is not studying for his exam. But he is not studying. He shouldn't be spending all his time on the bench. He should not be spending all his time on the beach. What does it mean? He is spending all his time on the beach, but he is spending all his time on the beach. Third, we should be wearing seat belts. That means we are not wearing seat belts. We should be wearing seat belts. What does it mean? It means we are not wearing seat belts, but we are not wearing. Then I shouldn't be telling you this. It is supposed to be a secret. What is it? I shouldn't be telling you this. I should not be telling this to you. What does it mean? I am telling it to you. I should not be telling this to you means I am telling this to you. To express this idea, dear students, to express this idea. That is, what is the action should be executed at the time of speaking is not being executed. Say a thing that should not be done at the time of speaking is being done. Yeah, this is to express this idea. With the should plus be plus present participle with the construction. Then the fifth one is should plus perfect. Should with perfect infinitive. That is, what does it mean? That is, should means what? Should plus who plus past participle. Should plus be plus present participle. To express present events. That is, one thing should not be, one thing is not done. One thing should not be done, but it is being done. Another should be done. One thing should be done, but that is not being done. Another thing is, one thing should not be done, but that is being done. So present should plus continuous is used to express the present events. But the perfect should plus perfect is used to express the past actions. That is, to express the past events. That is, one, an action that should have been done was not done. And second, an action should not have been done, but should have been done. Yes. What should be done was not done. What should not be done, what should not have been done, has been done. To express this idea, this what or should with perfect infinitives. This construction is used to express an unfulfilled obligation or a sensible action that was neglected. In the negative, it expresses a wrong or foolish action in the past. This construction is used to express an unfulfilled obligation or a sensible action was neglected. That was neglected. In the negative, it expresses a wrong or foolish action in the past. You see, you ought to have told him that the paint on that seat was wet. See, dear man, you should have told him that the paint on that seat was wet. What does it mean? You did not tell him that the paint on that seat was wet. But you did not tell. You should have thanked his omelette. But that is, you should have turned this omelette. That means you should have told him that you should have told him means you should have told him, but that means you did not tell him. I mean, you should have turned his omelette. That means you should not. That means you did not then his omelette. Dear students, here I will see the words omelette. Omelette. Who can pronounce it in any way? Because there is no principle here. Omelette. There is no guidelines regarding the pronunciation of English words. But actually, its pronunciations, they say, according to Daniel Jones, that the IPA, International Phonetic Academy, IPA, is to be O, short form, im, om, O, im, om, il, la, it, let, omelette, two syllables. It is just Islam, omelette. But it is part, yes, news. That is, as I already told you, we are speaking English as a parrot speaks, as a parrot receives the sounds people produces before it and they repeat it. We are repeating what we are receiving from other peoples, particularly from our teachers, from our parents, and our friends, and the society. You are repeating. That's all. They ought to have stopped at the traffic lights. That is, the drivers, the people driving vehicles should have stopped their vehicles at the traffic lights. What does it mean? They should not. They did not. They did not stop their vehicles at the traffic lights. But they did not stop. She shouldn't have opened the letter. It wasn't addressed to her. That is, she shouldn't have opened the letter. She shouldn't have opened the letters. What does it mean? It means she opened the letter. She shouldn't have opened the letter. Means she opened the letter. That's all. Dear students, again and again, dear, not only students, my dear brothers and sisters, serving as teachers, it is my kind request. That is the uses of should and ought in the continuous and perfect tenses. In the continuous tense, it is used. One thing that should be done at the time of speaking is not being done. And another thing, one thing should not be done at the time of speaking, but it is being done. That is continuous tense. But in the perfect tense, should plus perfect, should have plus past participle is used to express the ideas. That is, what should be done, what should have been done. The unfulfilled, that is, should plus have plus past participle is used to express the unfulfilled obligations. What is unfulfilled obligations? That is, what should have been done. What should have been done was not done. Then what should not have been done has been done. What should be done was not done. What should not have been done was done. Was not done, was done. That's all. It is very important. My dear students and teachers, see, we were seeing, so far we were seeing what and should, the two modal auxiliaries. What is the relationship between them? They are the both are having more or less the same meaning. Ought and should. That's all. But what is and what is the meaning of must and have to? So, where we have to use them? Should or ought to should be used to express the obligation of the subject. Should or ought to should be used to express the obligation or duty of the subject, but must and have to should be used to express the speaker's authority or the external authority. That's all. Bear it in mind. It is very, very important. The users, I see the similarities and the differences between ought and should, and must and have to, and the differences between should and must. That is ought and have to. So bear it in mind. Then only you could rightly express your ideas, either in speaking or in writing. Without having these ideas, you can't clearly give what you feel. If you want to give your ideas correctly, then you should know the uses of should and must. Should, subject's intention. Must, speakers are outside authority. Have it in mind. Respected elders, educationists, teacher and their students, so far I have explained the meaning and uses of ought and should, must and have to, and the similarities and differences between them. Should and must. Bear it in mind. Respected elders, educationists, teachers and dear students, I thank all of you for keenly watching the lessons that I gave today. Till I meet you in the next class, I wish all of you a very nice and sweet time. Thank you.